every other Monday. Sometimes we skip if things are going on. All of these calls, Josh turns into podcasts. So if you missed part of the call, or if you really like the call and you're a manager, or you really like the call for others, you can go grab it and share it, or you can listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's on the Big Joel Show, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast, you will be able to find it. We're 2 p.m. here East Coast, 11 a.m. West Coast. Let me see if I got any West Coasters on here right now. Not sure. I definitely see Colorado. I see Mountain Time, Sam Daly. And I will try to keep you guys no less than a half hour. I appreciate you being on. It's a short week. This is also being live streamed across Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. So a lot of times we don't have a massive audience on the Zoom necessarily because people are watching other places. So welcome everybody, especially you new people to this call. Today we have a special guest who I will get to in a second. But just wanted to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving for those of you that are with me all the time, or those of you that I know better than others, or everyone that is taking some of their valuable time to be on here today. I want to wish you happy Thanksgiving and safe time with big food with your family. Those of you that know me well know that I just finished my 10th annual burger crawl, which happens the Sunday before Thanksgiving every year. We call that the honorary opening of the pants. So that's how we get the week started. So we hit a bunch of really good burger places in DC yesterday. There's pictures of the burgers on my Facebook and my Instagram for those of you that weren't following along yesterday, if you want to see some good burgers. It's just a fun thing that we do every year. And just seems to keep getting more fun and more fun. And I think we've been to probably 41 different places to eat burgers in the DC metro area over the last 10 years, which makes it super, super fun. So it's Thanksgiving already. Those of you that were on early, you could hear me talking to Mr. Dawes from the great state of Ohio a little bit earlier. And we were just talking about how Thanksgiving is late this year. And Thanksgiving is going to be over, and boom, you're going to turn around. We have Christmas on a Wednesday, which those of you that have been in the business for a while is what I call the January killer, because Christmas is on a Wednesday, which means all the parents go, why don't we just leave the Friday before? When should we come back? Nah, we'll just stay away. Oh, wait a minute. New Year's is next Wednesday. We'll just stay away. Okay. Should we come back the day after New Year's? Not really. We'll just stay through the weekend. And boom, you got 2 weeks of everyone disappearing, which is usually really bad for your for your Januaries and Februaries. That's for loan officers and for real estate agents on here. And I just want to start before I introduce our guest with letting you know that it is totally bogus and unacceptable for you to say, oh, January is always slow. BS. Any of you that are on here that have worked with me in the past know when I was originating, I think I was pretty much almost always number one in January for apps and closings, and in December, because I never took my foot off the gas. And the great agents don't do that either. The election is now over. It doesn't really matter who you voted for. A lot of people waiting. Oh, we're waiting for the election. We're waiting for the election. Okay, that's over now. Boom. There's a sort of a sigh of relief, not a total sigh of relief, but a sigh of relief just that it's over for now. Again, we know that no presidents can actually control the market or control interest rates. We know that. So one of the things that I want you to think about is that it doesn't really matter what the rates are if the cost of goods gets jammed down and a tank of gas is 2/3 of what it was, and eggs are 2/3 of what they were. And they're talking very seriously about capping interest on credit cards. And the bottom line is I'm pretty confident that next year we're going to see relief, some consumer relief on what people are paying every month, which then will shake up a little bit more money to be used to buy houses. Or to move or to do whatever you've wanted to do or whatever people have wanted to do. We have over 30 million millennials that have stated they want to buy a house. We have another 5.2 million that have said if they're rates came down 0.5%, they would move immediately, meaning move something. They would sell their house, buy a house, whatever. They would be ready to roll. So long story short, I'm very bullish on 2025. I think it's going to be great for mortgage, for real estate, for everyone on this call. I think it's going to be a great year, and I really suggest that everybody get ready for that great year. Today we have on Mr. David Lazowski. He is president of national recruiting and something else with Fairway. But I want to make sure everybody understands David is also operates and runs a lot of branches in the Northeast. He's in it all day. He probably just got off a call with an underwriter a couple minutes ago. So don't be dismayed by his title. David is an experienced mortgage banker who's done lots of business himself and has lots of very experienced people that roll up to him and work with him every day. Also, you hear me saying David, everyone knows him as Laz. That's what he prefers to be called. That's what he said the first day I met him. So I will call him Laz as well. So Laz, welcome to the call. You've been on here before. Great to have you back.
Good to be back, Joel. Happy Thanksgiving. Good to be
sir.
here.
Yes, sir. So we're looking at this market right now. I think you all, if you could, I've heard a lot of shrugs, Laz, this whole year and this past year for everything from, oh, the deals are so hard. And I always respond, you know what? That means you're working with great agent partners and they're digging in and trying to sell anybody a house they can. And you just got to step up and get as many people approved as you can. You just got to actually work, W-O-R-K, work, because they're working. You need to work. I think, Laz, as we go into this holiday season, I'm hearing from a lot of loan officers, they're just kind of like, when is it going to end? When is it going to get a little better? When is it going to get a little better? We've had a lot of information out from Housing Wire, from NAR, that the numbers are up. All the numbers are up. What are you seeing, Laz, in your world, as far as from your loan officers, from your branch managers, people at Fairway? What's the general mood? What are you hearing on the street, first of all?
We've all made it through the worst of times, and we're ready for 2025. I mean, this has been a time that no one has seen looking back, but I'm with you. We believe next year is going to be much, much different than the last 2 years. It's not going to be more the same, but you got to prepare and you got to be ready for it. So we're doing some pretty unique things. We had a group, we're keeping it hyper local in our marketing and really going deep with a lot of the realtor partners that we have right now, helping them plan. Same thing we would want to do every year, but we're doing these hyper local meetings where we're meeting with 20, 30 realtors, 10 realtors, just getting them in a room and helping them plan for next year because we think it's going to be better. You've seen the MBA had a conference recently. They think things will be up 28 to 30% next year. So we're here saying, hey, we've made it through. We've made it through the worst of times, and now we're heading into a much better environment. So what are we doing to prepare for it?
And Laz, you fed me that, even though we never talk. Laz always says, Joel, do I need to prepare for this? And I say no. One of the things, one of my, I don't know if he's on here, Sean Johnson, one of my good friends, he's a regional manager with Movement. He always talks about sort of your muscles, your loan muscles. And, I say this all the time. Samantha Daly's heard me say this. If you're done, leave. Meaning I'm telling loan officers all the time with their operations people, do not stretch your work out all day, because then when you get busy, you're going to be complaining that you have too many loans. I would rather have operational people be done at 12 and literally leave than sit and take all day to do the same thing that they could have done in 4 hours. Because then when we double down and you're closing 8 loans and you go to 12, they're complaining, oh, I can't get everything done. I'm too busy. And Laz, I don't know about you. You probably know this very well because you work for a massive company, but I don't think any of these big boys are going to be looking to hire ops people anytime real soon. I think they're going to wait a little bit before that starts to happen. So you really better be able to get it done with the people you have.
Yeah, I think it really depends on, we don't paint a wide brush. So we go very local to each person's need. So we have people that are closing 25, 30, 35, 38, 40 units right now. So they're busy. So we're going to give them whatever support they need. You can't look at a company our size and say, okay, we're not hiring any more ops people. There are
Right.
pockets that need it, and there's pockets that don't. And that's where we get very local in our approach, very regionalized in our approach. We are not a centralized company. We're a decentralized company. And that helps us manage things.
So, Laz, are you seeing people? I'm hearing, I'm hearing from the agents that they're right after the election. They got a little bump. They got some noise. And again, it doesn't matter if by the way, Laz is coming in hot from Massachusetts right now, but he's born and bred in Connecticut, which are very traditional blue states. They vote blue. They vote Democrat. And even in those states, all the states from the agents I'm hearing right after the election, it doesn't matter. They got a bump right away with inbound phone calls. Are your people hearing the same thing?
Absolutely. We were busy a little bit before. Everyone had that kind of small refi pocket they had for a very short amount of time, so they're closing them out, and then people just started saying, hey, okay, let's move forward. We are busy, and I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing. It really depends where you are still, but there are parts of this country that are extremely, extremely busy. I did see a pickup after the election.
And what's interesting is a lot of the low-level loan officers and low-level agents are gone. They're out of the business. So it makes a lot of sense when you look at a company globally. Maybe you had, I'm not talking about Fairway right now, but maybe you had, 800 loan officers and you dropped to 500. Well, those 300 that dropped were probably all your low producers. So to be busy makes a lot of sense because the people that are left standing are busy. Laz, a bunch of my one-on-one people, some of them, they're very busy right now, and they're closing a lot of, a lot of units. Laz, what are you seeing as some best practices? I know you talked about smaller groups of agents, SARS propping them up. Besides smaller groups, what are you seeing some of your top people, whether they're in your market or across the country? What are you seeing them doing? What are you seeing them implementing? What are you seeing?
Yeah. Great question. I'll tell you a story. We had a call last week. Dawes, who's on this call, was on that call. There were about 428 people on the call. It was a sales call that we're just sharing ideas of, hey, what are you doing? Which is something we do weekly. On that call, one of the folks had talked about, Dawes, I'm trying to remember who it was, you might remember, had just done a realtor get together. It was a dinner. There were about 30 people there. And what we decided to do was such a powerful meeting. Oh, right. Josh Velasquez in Florida. He had this amazing meeting. He had 20, 30 agents there. Maybe it was even 40. And we came out and said, Jake was on the call, Steve Jacobson, and he did something that was off the charts and said, okay, between now and the end of the year, anyone that wants to get together with at least 20 of their agents, have a dinner, have a planning session, have a strategy session, here's $10,000 to go do that. Anyone that was on that call had the ability to go ahead and do that between now and the end of the year. That's the type of thing we're doing to get people just juiced up, excited about going into next year.
Are the agents? Was it a planning for next year, or was it a pump up? I get asked to do those a lot this time of the year, Laz, where I come in and they want me to do planning with the agents, like getting them ready. What are they going to do before they start? It's those type of dinners or get-togethers, correct?
It's hitting the ground running. It's planning. It's going in and saying, okay, you are my partners. You are my people. I'm here to support. We're in this together. What are we doing to get ready? We're not waiting, right? Like you said, hey, it's Thanksgiving. People are going to take the next 2 weeks off. There is no 2 weeks off. We're doing this between now and the end of the year. So we just hit the ground running. It has been super energizing. I forgot how many, but of the 423 people, we had well over 60 people say, I'm in, I'm going to put this together. So that was pretty cool.
So one of the things I've seen over the past 18 months, and those of you that have been listening to me for a long time, is number one, I've been coaching and mentoring real estate agents since 1997. By the way, I was only 6 years old then. But and one of the things I've heard over the last 18 months, which I've never heard in my career, and I'm a big real estate partner guy, was I don't care if my kids go to the same school. I don't care if we go to the same place of worship. I don't care. I'm done. I only want professional loan officers. I literally don't care anymore. The schlub over here that's my next door neighbor that I've been referring people to, I'm not doing that anymore. And I've never heard that before, Laz. So that's a big thing. The other thing is with the NAR settlement and with how hard things have been, and loan officers calling these tough deals. Those of you that have been around for a long time like me, you must laugh at this because these aren't tough deals. These are deals. These are the regular deals. These are deals I was working on when I started. These aren't tough. They're just not 70 LTV, 850 credit score, refis at 3%. So anything besides that is a tough deal to people, which is hilarious. But you've really earned the right to truly partner with your agent partners right now. And it sounds like, Laz, what a bunch of people at your company are doing is just literally taking that all the way home and saying, I'm really your partner. Let's do it together.
Show them you care. I mean, listen, it's been so hard on the realtor community recently. We realize that, but there are realtors that are in it to win it, and there are loan officers that are in it to win it. That's who we want to connect with. Everyone else can get out of the way, but there are people that are working. There are plenty of deals to be had out there. So it solidifies what we're trying to do, the things we're doing for our realtor partners we haven't done in the past. And this is really special, to go deep, to go to them and invest in them, pour into them. It's been very powerful, and it's been very energizing to the whole sales group, because no one's wah or woe is me. People are excited about going into next year, and that's what we want to see. We just want people moving in the right direction, feeling energized, really going deep with their partners that you've always taught. That is what we're trying to really just support and advocate. And by giving people, a little fun to go and do that, they're pumped up.
Let me give you also motivation. Every single time I'm in a market and I'm with agents, a small group of agents, usually with a loan officer I'm working with, every single time when there's 8 to 10 agents, I see an interaction between a couple of the agents where they say, oh, wait, you're Laz. I've never met you before, but I know who you are. Oh, I did this. And you see this connection. And I tell the loan officer, celebrate this. You're the host that put this party together. Because when COVID hit, agents stopped doing lots of social things that they need to do to stay connected, especially with pocket listings and all kinds of things they need to do. Agents have been made fun of for years. I always kid around with them. All you guys do is eat and go to open houses and hang out and whatever. No. That's not what they're doing. They're networking. So when they sell each other's listings and they have things going on, it's smoother. So they know each other. That's what it's about. And agents have gotten away from that and haven't crept all the way back yet, just because of the whole remote work thing, which is a huge thing coming in January, by the way. Just to pivot, in January, everybody, most large companies, I'm not even talking about the government, who they're saying needs to go back to the office as well. Most large companies, big companies, are 4-day-a-week back or go ahead and quit. Like, we don't care, which means people are coming back to the office, which is going to create all kinds of opportunities for us with home sales and all sorts of things, with people that move 3 hours away to work remote, that now need to sell their house and move back. And I'm already hearing from agents in major markets where people moved far enough away where they are having to sell their house and move back. So that's another big opportunity. But just own that host or hostess thing where you're putting this together. This is your party. This is you. You did this. You brought everyone together, and know that the agents love this, even more so than sometimes, Laz, I've been at events. I'm getting ready to do an event, right? And we're waiting. It's an hour in and I haven't started. And I'll be talking to, whoever, to say it's you. I'm there with you, right? And you're like, Joel, we need to start. And I'm like, why start? Look at them. They're all networking with each other. I don't even want to interrupt them. Just let them keep doing their thing. They're so happy that we put something together that they're all in the room. So don't overthink this. Laz, what else besides stuff like that are you seeing some of your top people doing? What other types of things?
We talked a little earlier about difficult loans and doing the tougher deals. What I am seeing on the LO side is a recommitment to education with all the non-QM stuff that's out there. We're doing a ton of non-QM in-house. We're doing HELOCs, we're doing, these buy to sell, we're getting bridge loans. Loan officers have to really take the time to get good, because that's how they educate their realtors. So we're also seeing a recommitment to really understanding your products, right? Because people have gotten a little lazy with that. And that's another focus going into this year, is really just understanding what you can do with non-QM. Pretty cool. And you can create a ton of opportunity and education by knowing your craft.
That's what I just wrote down when you were talking. Know your craft. And, it's interesting because we have a generation of loan officers, Laz, that never really had to know much more than a 30-year fixed. And so it's not natural. And what they'll do is they'll go in a corner and basically ball up and cry that I have no business. Meanwhile, they got a whole bunch of phone calls they could have done. They just didn't want to take the time to even figure out how to do the loan. And they could have done the loan. So if there are people in your office, I always recommend this, almost before you sit and like read guidelines for 5 hours. Find the old dogs, find the people doing a lot of production using a lot of different products, and take them to lunch or whatever and say, hey, can I talk to you? Tell me how you're doing these. People love to share. They love to pay it forward. Then go back and then go look it up. I'll tell you to ask first, look up after, because you want the person doing the deals so they can say, yeah, these are hard, these are easy. People think these are hard, but they're really easy. All you have to do is do these 4 things, but nobody can figure it out. Laz, that's a great one. Know your craft. Anything else? What about file quality, Laz? One of my big things I scream about all the time. I know when it hits your desk, it's completely on fire. You're seeing all the best people going hard on file quality right now?
Here's the way I think about it. As loan officers, and I'm an originator, right? I don't care about any stupid titles. I'm an originator, dude. I do loans, right? And what I've always seen, and you and I have talked about this in the past, the file quality matters, but every loan officer tends to be a little bit different, right? Some are good, some are great at putting the file together. If you don't put a great file together, you are just jeopardizing your whole business. So what we try and do is put people together so that they have, whether it's an LOA, a production partner, but when that file goes in, it does not come back. I don't care how you originate. Personally, we all have different strengths and weaknesses, but you better put a file 100% together so when it goes into that underwriting queue, it doesn't come back and it comes out. And that's how we're closing loans in 4, 8, 10, 12 days, whatever it is. That's not going to change. Speed always wins. And if the file quality is not there, that's a problem. So we're making sure that everyone is focused on what do you need to make sure you put in the right file quality. And the sharing that you mentioned, going to the old dogs, that's the whole culture that we really try and stress. That's why we do weekly calls with 482 people to talk about how you're doing these deals. How are you getting those deals? It's critical right now that you not only know your craft, but you put together an amazing file.
And you said something else, Laz, which is important. You said speed. Everyone on this call understand speed is coming at you at 100 miles an hour. If you guys that have been on this call with me for years, you've heard me talking about this 2-3 years ago, that some of the best loan officers in the country, I'm talking, top 10 Scotsman's Guide people, we're already all over that and having their agent partners write 10-day closes. Again, assuming you're in a market where you can physically close a loan in 10 days, meaning not New York where you have crap going on where it's almost impossible to do it. Okay, but assuming you are in a place where you can close a loan in 10 days. Okay, these guys have been, and women have been telling their partners, write a 10-day contract, write it, because we're done. They did the work up front. They're submitting a quality file and they can jam those through. And let me tell you, it kind of sucks to go up against one of those people when you can't close that loan that fast, and they're turning around and telling the agents, "Oh no problem, I guarantee it's closing."
It's the price of admission right now, Joe. Right now, if I text you, you know who the number one competition is. It's not everyone else. It's that phone. If I text you, how quickly do you expect a response from me or anyone that reaches out? If you text someone, how fast do you want them to respond to you? How long before you're pissed off? How long? How long?
That's how we train new people too. Literally, you all can laugh. John Hess is on here, I'll text him on Saturday morning at 6 a.m. just to see what's up. Just see how long it takes them, see if they're really into what they're doing. And speed and quality. I'm telling you, everyone, I talk to agents every day. I'm a very blessed guy. I coach and mentor some of the best real estate agents in the industry. I know exactly what they want from loan officers. And you don't need to call them back in 1 minute. That's not what they want once they know you, but they want to completely trust you, and they want to know that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. So for you to be able to look at them and go, hey, I can close this in 10 days because you sent these people to me 5 days ago. I've got it. It's completely docked. We're ready to roll. Let's go. Get me a contract. Let's go. Like, unless there's something wrong with the title work or something, we're closing. Like that's it. We're going. And so if you're not experiencing that in your market, going against any of these big dog loan officers that are trying to take market share, it's coming to you really soon. And you have to be ready for that. Laz talked a little, he got a little gray on file quality. He said it without saying it, but Laz is looking for one and dones. One and done. Those of you that have ever underwritten before or really understand underwriting, you understand when underwriters pick up files multiple times, they get more mad each time. About the third pickup, their ears are red. The fourth pickup, their hair's on fire. The fifth pickup, they're literally ready to kill you. So you don't want to be one of those loan officers. Yes, Laz.
Travels in one direction. File comes in, it goes this way. It doesn't go this way, then this way, then this way, right? It goes in one direction. We're in the moving business, not the storage business. The longer that file sits, the stinkier it gets. We all know that. And what I was saying about file quality is this: everyone originates differently, especially large producers. They're out networking. We get it. So you got to have the support around you so that the file quality comes in at 10. I don't care if you're doing all the work yourself. I would sometimes say you shouldn't be doing everything yourself. You need a team if you want to do big numbers. And that's how the file quality maintains, and you leverage your time. That's what we're trying to do for all our teams.
Did everybody write that down, by the way, what he just said? So you didn't, you should write down, I wrote it down. I'll be swiping and adapting that. We're in the moving business, not the storage business. Now, I actually, Laz, I thought I've heard like everything. I have not heard that one before, and that's a beautiful one. We're in the moving business, not the storage business. Laz, I'm looking at the clock. I want to ask you one more question, please. Mentally, Laz, mentally. Laz takes a lot of mental beatings all day because he deals with lots of people. Laz, some suggestions for everyone mentally to get ready for next year. What are you thinking about? What are you doing? What do you tell yourself in the morning when you get up? Give a, go zen on us for a minute, and we'll let you go.
So one of the best qualities you can have is compartmentalization. You can only control what you can control. And at the end of the day, the prospecting we do, the work that we do, that is in our control. The other stuff, can't control it. Don't let it get to you. And I will say this, the most important thing is the people that are trying to help you, your ops people, make them love you, because, dude, they're the ones trying to really help you get stuff done. And I call it the transfer of stress. Sometimes, if things aren't going great, you tend to take it out on your folks. Don't do that. Realize those are the people trying to get you over the finish line. The mindset of compartmentalizing is controlling what you can control, and just be light about it. Be happy about it. You're going to get it all done.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Laz. I really appreciate it. Those of you joining me on the Zoom, thank you. Those of you on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, thank you very much. And